This is the Twins POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Twins get 6 scoreless innings from Taj Bradley. They avoid the Kansas City sweep 5-1. That's your final as they move to 2-4 on the year. What's going on back in the lab? Back at it. Another Twins POSTCAST, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us the #1 sports podcast network. CJ Baumgartner, Twins expert. Give him a follow on X at BaumCJ30. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Also after this as well, quick reminder, go check out CJ and the Locked On Twins show. He's got your 30-minute daily dose breaking down everything Twins related. Can't wait to watch that. Lots to get into here, CJ. Might not get a lot of these victories this year. We got to milk this one, right? Game MVP, biggest turning point, biggest X factor, plus what we'll be talking about tomorrow. But, just off the top here, Twins coming in Game 3 versus KC, trying to avoid that sweep. Couldn't get the dub last night with Joe Ryan on the mound. They turned to the new kid, Taj Bradley. Had that tremendous first start last go around, 9 Ks that night. He backs it up again today. 6 strong scoreless innings, 3 Ks, 1 walk, 5 hits. He continues to impress now with that .87 ERA. But it was a tight one throughout. Nonetheless, Twins up just 1 in the 8th. They load him up for Byron Buxton. He hits a sac fly, got that ever-important insurance run. Royals came right back. They cut it back in half. 2-1, and then in the 9th, CJ, it's like a switch finally got flipped or something. 4 batters, 3 home runs. Wallner, Cody Clemens, and Bell, they all go deep. That makes it 5-1 in the 9th, and the Twins do avoid this sweep. What were your big kind of takeaways from this one, big picture-wise?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Taj Bradley just once again putting the team on his back today and getting them kicking and screaming to a win. Twins' only run early was because Cody Clemens didn't know the count and started taking his gloves off and walking to third base, and Perez just overthrew the back pick to second base, and he scored. And that was kind of the decider until, like you said, those runs came across. So a sloppy defensive day for the Twins infield, sloppy on the bases, but it didn't matter because Taj Bradley told the Royals you can't win if you can't score. So 2 back-to-back impressive starts for Taj Bradley to begin the 2026 season. Maybe
a smooth segue. Let's handle a little love with our game MVP.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, man, lay it on me. 5 runs scored today. That was nice. 3 home runs. That was nice. And again, as mentioned, a fantastic outing on the mound from Taj Bradley. Who are you going with game MVP today? Who is it and why?
It's got to be Taj Bradley, just the way he was able to command out there, had the fastball working, had the splitter working. His cutter today was very, very effective. 5 out of 12 whiffs today. He had 5 whiffs on 12 swings on that pitch, and it resulted into 2 strikeouts of his 3 came off the cutter today. So certainly had it working, had a couple jams, again, labored a little bit. I thought it was nice of Shelton giving him the 6th inning opportunity. He makes the most of it, throws a clean inning, or throws a scoreless inning, I should say, in that situation. And overall, just really, really effective in a game where the Twins had to go to their bullpen early yesterday. It was a mess with the rain and the fog and all that stuff. And on a getaway day, it was just important for Taj Bradley to help the Twins salvage the series, get out of there with the win. And 2-4 sounds a lot better than 1-5. So just very important for them to get out of that series with the win. And Taj Bradley, even though it wasn't as dominant strikeout-wise as it was on Saturday, still just able to be effective, get a lot of soft contact, a lot of weak ground balls, a lot of soft fly balls, and overall just a really, really nice start for Bradley, putting back-to-back starts together that have looked really impressive. And I've been a big Mick Abel guy in this rotation, but I got to tell you, I've been really, really impressed with Bradley so far this season.
Yeah, hard not to be, right? Proof's in the pudding. Stats don't lie. Talk to me about what it would mean for this team in this rotation, I guess, to have a guy just jump right in so quick, so seamless so far, like Bradley has done, become this kind of, almost kind of rock solid number 2 option behind Joe Ryan for not just 2026, right? But when you think about this young core and nucleus they're trying to build right now.
Yeah, especially because Pablo Lopez went down for the season. Right. So you have Joe Ryan now leading the rotation. Everybody kind of bumps up a spot. You have Simeon Woods Richardson, who, is what he is. He'll give you 5 good innings, probably not much more on a given night, but he's consistent. And then Bailey Ober, who's taken a step back, for whatever reason, whether it's injuries, whether it's something else, just hasn't been as productive the last season and a half. So you need guys like that to step up. And what Bradley kind of getting into that tier of Joe Ryan, maybe not an ace on every single staff, but somebody who's highly productive every single time he takes the mound, or more often than not. It just kind of helps put everybody where they need to be. And like you said, for beyond, there's no guarantee Joe Ryan's on this roster after the 2026 season if the Twins aren't in contention by the trade deadline. And you're going to need to figure out who does sit atop your rotation. And with pieces like Abel and with pieces like Bradley, it gives you confidence that you at least have some guys who can kind of be in the mix if Ryan isn't there. And if Ryan is there, well, now you combine Ryan and Bradley, and hopefully Abel steps in and some of the other young prospects they have. And then all of a sudden the starting rotation, it's going to be the identity of the 2026 Twins, and Bradley taking a step forward brings that to fruition.
Yeah, no doubt. Good breakdown there. Let's get into the biggest turning point from today.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Again, Twins up just 1 run in the 8th. That never feels like enough, and at least with this team and this bullpen right now. But then things got a little weird, right? Things got a little wild in the 8th and 9th, CJ. Biggest turning point today, in your opinion, from your lens, when was it and why?
The biggest turning point was Taylor Rogers getting a strikeout on Caglione to end the 8th inning. There was the tying run that got to second base. So you had the tying run in scoring position. Everybody's like, oh, here we go. Twins have a small lead. The bullpen's going to blow it and all this stuff. And Taylor Rogers comes out of the pen, faces just Caglione, comes in for that lefty-on-lefty matchup and throws him frisbee after frisbee after frisbee and gets him to strike out on a slider that starts in that outer half of the zone and goes into the other batter's box. So a really good job by the wily vet now in Taylor Rogers in his second stint back with the Twins, because that got them the strikeout. If you look at the win probability, Kansas City's highest of the day was when they had the runners on the corners, nobody out, and to get the runners on the corners, nobody out, and eventually to get the outs and to get out of that situation for Rogers to come in and slam the door allowed the Twins to hit those 3 home runs in the 9th inning and then blow the game wide open. But you don't get there if Rogers doesn't quell things in the 8th inning.
Yeah, just to extend on that thought here, talk to me about the bullpen today, because you're only up that 1 run in the late innings. How'd they grade out as a whole today with those 4 arms that they used? What'd you like the most from them? Anything encouraging as we move forward? And, what is inevitably going to be a lot of tight games, I think, with this Twins roster.
A lot of tight games, especially when the Twins are winning. It's probably not going to be by a ton. You're going to rely on that bullpen. I thought Cody Funderburk had a really nice day. If we're going to look at another member of the Twins bullpen, came in, pitched a clean 7th inning to kind of propel things. I thought Cole Sands was a little shaky, although I think he'll have a big role to play in this bullpen. Sands was shaky. Justin Topa had an error on a Royce Lewis ground ball that got a runner on and then walked a guy. Got a double play to quell things down, but Topa's a little shaky. I don't have the highest amount of confidence in him. But overall, it was a great day for Cody Funderburk to come in, get that clean inning. And I think by the end of the season, you're going to see guys like Sands, Funderburk, and Rogers kind of start to earn their way to the top of this Twins bullpen hierarchy, because as Derek Shelton mentioned all through spring training, there really is no hierarchy. We are going to figure out who is going to be pitching important games for the Twins late on the fly, because everybody's kind of learning with the way that this bullpen is constructed.
Yeah, no doubt. Well said there. Shelton scorecard, speaking of Derek Shelton, favorite or least favorite move or, decision out there today from the Twins manager?
Yeah, I think, obviously in a win, so I don't want to get too nitpicky with this one. I would have liked to see Austin Martin have an opportunity to hit with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Yeah. And they brought in Trevor Larnach. I understand you want an RBI guy. You want a guy with some power. You want to try and bust the game open in that spot. And it was a right-handed pitcher on the mound. So you wanted to bring Larnach in against a righty. There was a lefty that started, which is why Martin got the nod. But Austin Martin, and I've been critical of him in the leadoff spot, I think he's done really well in his limited opportunities this year. And he already got on base a couple times. I would have wanted to see him try to do it again, especially when there's nobody out, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Martin's a contact guy more than anything. And in that spot, you need a guy who's going to put the ball in play to try and move forward and get the run. I would have liked to see Martin get an opportunity. I understand the logic. I just think in game, if you're trying to feel it out, I maybe would have given Martin that opportunity, especially just because Larnach hasn't necessarily done a ton in his limited opportunities this year.
Yeah, great observation there. Don't go anywhere. Biggest X factor, nerdy stat, what we'll be talking about tomorrow. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode brought to us by TurboTax. It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes, that can be a lot. Trying to book an appointment, that's not very convenient. Sitting in that waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth, wondering, this person really get my situation? But this year, you're getting a major upgrade because Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app right on the spot. Just like that, boom, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve, all while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment today. This episode also brought to us by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live in real time all game long. It's people moving the action now. So when the momentum shifts, you can shift with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge in the moment. But now I can actually take part live in a market powered by real people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. All right, man, let's get into the biggest X factor from today's game.
It's time to reveal who made the biggest under-the-radar impact with today's X Factor.
All right, couple different routes you could go here, I feel like. At the time, again, just to point this one out, getting that extra insurance run by Byron Buxton sack fly, that felt like it could be the difference 5 minutes later after the Royals did score. It kind of felt like it was going to be, but got to pick one. Biggest X factor today for the Twins. Who was it and why?
To not pick Taj Bradley again, because I think he certainly has been the biggest X factor today. I'm going to go with Matt Wallner getting that opposite field solo shot to break open the scoring in the ninth inning to give the Twins that run back and then just give them that extra advantage and really helping out. Wallner had his second home run of the series, first one on the game one of the series going to right field, this time going to left. And I think Wallner is going to get a big opportunity to play a lot. I mean, I know there was a righty on the mound, but in general, he's going to get starts against left-handed pitching just because the Twins don't really have a right-handed hitting right fielder, somebody who profiles in that position. So Larnach, for better or worse, is going to get a ton of opportunities this year, and he's somebody who's in a make-or-break season for himself. He's a guy that hit 25, 26 home runs last year and is going to need to probably hit at least that, and if not more, if he wants to establish himself as a cleanup hitter for the Twins, as a middle-of-the-order power bat, especially with the young prospects coming up. This is a big prove-it year for Wallner and a good series for him overall to come away with a couple homers out of it.
Nerdy stat of the day. You got any crazy stat or fun analytic, I guess, Twins related? What do you got today?
So we were talking a little bit before about Griffin Jax, about Taj Bradley. Of course, it was a 1-for-1 straight-up trade with Griffin Jax and Taj Bradley at the trade deadline last year. And Griffin Jax, a very, very great reliever for the Twins, had his moments, had some ups, had some downs, but it's been a struggle with him in Tampa Bay, especially to start this season. Now, it's a small sample size, but through the first 2 appearances for Griffin Jax, he has 2 innings pitched with 8 runs given up, while Taj Bradley has 9 1/3 innings pitched with just 1 run allowed. I'm not here to say trades are won or lost, but that one maybe at the time didn't necessarily look appealing, but this could end up being a really good long-term trade for the Minnesota Twins.
That's highway robbery, man. Okay, 2 games in, fine, but that's highway robbery as far as things go so far.
They do it to a team against Tampa Bay, too. That's typically known for doing that to other teams. So
no doubt Tampa coming to Minneapolis, actually, tomorrow. We'll get into that with what we'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, so what's the one biggest topic heading into tomorrow as the Twins avoid the sweep today? They move to 2-4. More importantly, again, you get to head back home for their season opener against the Tampa Bay Rays. Bailey Ober on the mound tomorrow for that one. You got Taj Bradley Bailey Ober. Getting the start tomorrow. He's getting the nod. What do you think? Biggest topic. What's the top storyline here going into tomorrow?
Infield defense is what people are going to be talking about. Cody Clemens, not the most natural of first basemen, didn't necessarily play a ton at first base in spring training either. Not to say that he wasn't doing drills and other stuff like that, but he certainly had a rough day. There were a couple plays that were tough and not necessarily easy plays, but ones that a big league first baseman should make when it comes to scooping, when it comes to corralling some of those low throws from the infielders. And he didn't have a great day. He messed up a few of those And also Royce Lewis had a tough play. Tristan Gray, I thought, did fine. But overall, the Twins' infield defense, Lewis isn't the strongest third base defender. Brooks Lee isn't the strongest shortstop defender. Keyshal's okay for second base, but that's not necessarily a ringing endorsement either. And then, of course, whether it's Clemens, whether it's Vic Carantini, whether it's Josh Bell, their infield defense is very, very poor. And it didn't cost them today, but we can envision a game or two down the line where things are going to get hairy. So I could see a lot of people talking tomorrow about what are the Twins going to do defensively on the infield, because this could be a long season.
Yeah, great stuff per usual, man. Twins avoid the sweep thanks to Taj Bradley and those 3 home runs at the plate late in this one. 5-1, that's your final. They moved to 2-4 on the year. Go check out all of CJ's work on X at BombCJ30, plus all the work he's always putting up over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. Also, after this, go check him out on the Locked On Twins podcast each and every day. He's got all your daily Twins content as well. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Again, back tomorrow. Twins home opener versus Tampa. Obviously, keep tabs on the weather for that one. Possible snow showers coming our way. First pitch, as of now, though, scheduled for 3:10. Again, Bailey over on the mound. Hopefully catch you right here for that one. But until then, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Until then, signing out.